you have a very important decision to make. You have two options. You can either buy a ton or sell a ton, because what's about to happen is going to be very big. But before I get into that, I'd like you to subscribe, because every day I'm in the trenches and every day I give you daily updates of what is going on. That being said, let's continue. So I talked about how you have two very big options, and why do I think you either need to buy a ton or sell a ton of Bitcoin right now? Well, let's look at the charts, because the charts do not lie. So, Bitcoin has been in a sort of a range, you could say, where it had a nice pull back after going up to $106,000. It's got a nice pullback, and then it pushed up again, and then a pullback down here again, which means it's at the golden ratio or the 0.32 zone. But something interesting happened. It tried to make a push to the upside, and then for the past 3 days, you can see it hasn't done much. It hasn't gone up a ton, and it hasn't gone down a ton. It actually has two candles that have super big wicks and basically no actual candle in the middle. Now, let's go to the 4-hour time frame, and you can see exactly what I'm talking about. Notice how little the chart has actually been moving within the past day, 2 days, 3 days right here. Let's go to the 1-hour zone. This looks like a chart of a dead meme coin. Look at how little it has been moving. Now, the reason why I say you need to buy or sell a whole lot all depends on how long of a term you're wanting to think about Bitcoin. So, Bitcoin can either do two things. It can only go up or it can go down. But what we're trying to decide is, will it go up or down? And that's just how you play this game. Well, looking at the charts, we can see that Bitcoin is coiling up to make a big move to the upside or the downside. We may have another move like this where we shoot upwards and go past 106,000 or even higher. Or we may have a reverse of this where we go down 10,000 and hit $84,000 right about here. We really don't know what's going to happen, but you need to keep your eye on the charts to decide what you're going to do. Me personally, I'm a big advocate for Bitcoin, but I'm not just investing for 1, 2, 3, or even 20 years. I'm investing for the long term. So it is irrelevant to me what Bitcoin does. Of course, I'm hoping it goes up higher, because who doesn't want their investments to increase? But I find it very interesting to see if it starts to go lower, if it will instantly drop, because people are getting scared of these three candles, where if it goes down a little bit lower, that people will just start selling out. And then if that does happen, then you can buy at a lower cost for when it eventually goes back up, then we will see some nice gains. But all in all, what's going to happen to Bitcoin is something that only time will tell. Now, where it might go, we can say that it is looking slightly bullish. Now, the reason I say slightly bullish is because it has, if the chart would adjust, here we are. So the reason I say slightly bullish is because although it's barely been moving, let's look actually at the chart at what's going on. So it had a pullback, pushed up, pullback, slight push up, and then hit a kind of range, and is looking to test this zone right here, drop down to a $92,000, $93,000 to start its push to the upside. So it may have an initial pullback down to the golden ratio to push up again. But what I am concerned about is if it has this slight pullback down, if people are going to think that all of a sudden Bitcoin is bearish, we're at the top of the market, it's over, and everybody's starting to dump, then that would really push it down and get us out of the golden ratio. Looking at the past hour, though, you can see that we have had the bulls make a couple attempts, notably back here and most recently right here, where although the bears are pushing down and the bulls are pushing back, it does have these kind of swoops to the upside where it makes a ton of micro movements, and then the bears push in and one big move push it down, and then it makes a big move. So you can see that although it is in a range, there are some pretty big green or bullish candles, which is a nice bullish sign for Bitcoin. So what have we seen today? We've seen that Bitcoin is officially in a 3-day range where the charts really haven't moved that much, which means it's coiling up for a big move. Now, it may drop a little bit to test that golden ratio to find support to shoot to the upside, but if it does that, it may instantly drop because people get scared and will start trying to sell it, thus ending the potential for the upside from that big move that it took down. So, all that being said, I will see you guys tomorrow. Adios.